and I'm like, hey, oh my God. What is up, my friends and family? Today's video is going to be all about expressions. Now, I say all about expressions, but I only have 3 for you because there are so many that if I would have done one video on like all the expressions that I think you need to know, we would be here for like 6 hours straight. I'm gonna try to make it like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't know, a video about 3 expressions that I think you should know. I'm not gonna say maybe top 3, maybe I will say top 3, but I don't know, just 3 expressions that are common expressions that I feel like you need to know. I was just having this conversation with some of my students. When you want to say something, there's a lot of ways you can say it just using normal vocabulary words, but it just elevates your English so much more when you use colloquialisms, when you use slang, idioms, expressions, phrases. It just elevates your English to the point where not only you should be proud of yourself because you're like, wow, look at me sounding like a native. Other people that are either they're native English speakers or they are also ESL learners, they're gonna look at you and they're gonna be like, wow, that's amazing. You don't just speak like a dictionary, you actually speak like a native. So today I'm gonna tell you 3 common expressions that we as native English speakers use. The first one, and I got a little sassy for a second because the first one is to talk trash about someone. To talk trash about someone. Now, I will say you can use a more colorful word, if you know what I'm saying, in this expression. You can take the word trash, put it out, and you can put a more colorful word in there, but we're not gonna do that here. All right, this is a PG, maybe even PG-13 video, so no explicit content in this video, but you could hear it that way. You can talk some trash, or you can talk some other things about someone, or even something, but typically it's someone. But something like, some people say like cars, like they talk trash about Ford is such a bad car brand because of blah, blah, blah. They're just talking trash about it. Or about the football teams, like this football team sucks so bad. They're talking trash. All right, but typically it's about people. To talk trash about someone or something means to say insulting things about someone or something. So when you talk trash, you're saying something insulting. You're not being nice. Talking trash is not something you do if you want to be nice. Talking trash is something you do when you want to be mean, when you want to fight someone, all right? When you want to pick a fight, when you want to start a fight, that's when you start talking trash. Example, I met a new friend and my friend was like, oh, my husband really likes cars too. Talking about how my husband likes cars. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's perfect. Like, maybe they can hang out too. Like, while we're hanging out, we can be talking about whatever, like Target and going shopping, and then they can be talking about cars. And she was like, it would either be a good thing or a bad thing. They could either click. Oh, bonus word. Click means they get along. They're like, oh, we like the same things. We have similar interests. Get along easily. You click. Okay, maybe I can do another video on that another day. I'll write that one down. She said it could be a bad thing because maybe they'll just start talking trash about each other's cars. And I was like, you never know, because like some people might like one type of car and then other people might like another, and they just talk trash about each other, and then it's like they end up hating each other. So that was just like an example in my personal life. But when you talk trash about someone, you're insulting them. And an example of talking trash is, oh my God, like Susie's really nice and all, but like she got a big nose. She ain't got no forehead. She got a 5 head. And I would never say this. You guys don't think like I'm saying this. Like, this is just an example, exaggerated, dramatic example. This is not teacher Carley actually saying these things. I would never. I might possibly think something. I would never say it, all right? Something like, you're talking trash, like mad trash about Susie. And that's another thing. You can say, I'm talking mad trash means like you are insulting, insult after insult after insult, just saying like this, like Susie, she might be nice, but she got a big nose, she ain't got no forehead, she got a 5 head, she drives a crappy car, and she lives in like a really bad neighborhood, like her house is a shack. Like, you just going down and down and down this list. Poor Susie, like she's just like, you talking mad trash about her. That's how you talk trash. Please don't do it. Please be nice. Please love everyone. But that's how you would do it if you want to do it. An example sentence for you all is, stop talking trash and take responsibility. Stop talking trash and take responsibility. Ooh, this sentence kind of alludes to something else, because sometimes when you have your own insecurities. You talk trash about other people to hide the fact that you have your own insecurities. So you need to stop talking trash and take responsibility. I love that sentence. That's a good example. I'm proud of you, Carly. I came up with that one all on my own. Anyways, so that's the first expression that I think is very common that you should know. Stop talking trash about whoever, or stop talking trash. Just stop talking trash. The next one is concrete details. So we went from something that's pretty like in your face to a calmer expression. Concrete details. And you might be thinking like, okay, I know the word details and I know the word concrete. Carly, what the heck are you talking about? Okay, let me explain. Concrete details is just a specific description of a particular item, person, or setting. Let's say I want to meet a friend and I'm like, hey, oh my God. And I'm like, hey, I miss you. Can we please go get coffee and catch up? And she's like, yeah, of course. I miss you too. Like, let's go get coffee. There's like this new cafe that I want to try. And I'm like, okay, you know me. I love me a new cafe. So I'm like, okay, let's go. But we never make any concrete plans to do it. I have a friend that's like this. You know who you are when you're watching this. We still have to hang out. It's been like a whole year. We only see each other at like each other's kids' birthday parties. And then we try to make plans in between and it just never works out because we always just talk like, oh yeah, let's go get this like coffee from this new cute place, or let's go try this restaurant. And then we're both moms, so we're both busy, and then it never happens because we never make concrete details. We're always like, oh yeah, we should totally do that. And then we never plan. But concrete details means, hey, let's go to this new cafe. Let's try this new coffee. Let's make the plan for Friday at 3 p.m. And then we're like, yeah, let's do it. And then everybody's like, okay, Friday 3 p.m. I'm putting it in my calendar. Are you putting it in your calendar? Yes, it's locked Friday 3 p.m. And now it's a concrete detail. Like we are going because we scheduled it in our calendar. It's a thing now. Concrete details. Now that is like more so, you can say concrete plans for that. When it comes to the word concrete details, let's say you're buying a new phone. Actually, I just had to buy a new phone. I bought the new iPhone because my old iPhone was like 3 or 4 years old and it just decided it wasn't gonna work. The screen not turning on, nothing, everything. And it happened while I was in Vietnam, so not good. I actually had to pay money to get it fixed temporarily in Vietnam, and then it was still really glitchy, so then I had to bring it back to America and just get a new phone. That was a sidebar. Anyways, I wanted the concrete details of my updated contract and terms of condition for my new phone because it just seemed like too good to be true. They were like, oh, you can have the new iPhone for just like $5 a month. Why isn't everybody doing that? They're like $5 a month for 2 years. And I'm like, that seems so cheap. Why isn't everyone doing that? Show me the concrete details as to how you got this price. Because if I go to the Apple store, this phone is like $1,000. So like, why is it only $5 a month for 2 years? That doesn't make sense. And then the concrete details shows like, oh, like it's with the trade-in, which I had to give them my old phone, which is like worth $700. So I traded that in. That knocked down the price. Then it was like other little things like contract wise, and I can't use any eSIMs. Like I have to be locked in. So I was like, I knew there was something, which honestly, none of it really affected me immediately. Like it didn't affect me. So I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. But I knew I needed to view the concrete details because it just seemed a little bit too good to be true. You can say concrete plans when you're like making plans with somebody, like, hey, we need to make concrete plans because I miss you, you miss me. We always say we're going to do something, we never do. So okay, Friday, 3 p.m. coffee. All right. Calendar, good. Or you can say, show me the concrete details, and gives you like the little, like the little fine print that they write at the bottom of stuff because they don't want you to know what it is, but they still have to say it because it's like a disclaimer. Yeah, it's like that's the concrete details sometimes when it's like buying a product. You can also ask for concrete details about a person or a setting. So like, hey, we were supposed to have like this fundraiser for this event at this church. Do you want to come? Like it's for my youth group, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, yeah, send me over the concrete details. So like the time, the place, the event, what I should bring. Do I need to get there early? Do I need to wear a certain color? Like that kind of stuff is concrete details. And then also about a person, you can ask the person for concrete details about anything, like about where they live or about, don't be a creeper. All right. Don't be like, hey, please send me your address and like what time you wake up in the morning, what time you go to bed. Don't do that. All right. But you can, like, if it's like your friend and you're like, hey, I have this box of like stuff that I've been meaning to give you. Can you just like send me your address or anything? We need to make up some concrete plans and send me over the details of like when you'll be home or like your address, whatever, so I can like get this to you soon. Something like that. Multiple ways you can say this, but an example sentence for you all is, I'm going to need the concrete details before I book my flight. I'm going to need the concrete details before I book my flight. This is important too. When you're traveling, sometimes you can just like book your flight and then worry about everything later. But for me, I'm both people. Sometimes I can book my flight and then worry about everything later. But also sometimes I'm like, no, I need to know all the details before I even waste my money or spend my time looking for flights, because I need to see if this is doable or not. Like, can I do this? Can I fit everything that I need to get done in this day? Like, I need to know. So we have talk trash about somebody, we have concrete details, and the last one for today is to hint at something. To hint at something. Now this just means to talk about something in an indirect way. If you're hinting at something, you're talking about something, but like very subtle. Like it's indirect. Like you're not actually talking about it fully. You're just like hinting at the idea that you're talking about it. Funny little story, like quick little story. I started talking about Korea a lot to my parents about a month or two before I announced to them that I was moving. I had the idea in my head. I kind of knew that I was going to move. I wasn't 100% yet because this was a long time ago. I was literally 19 years old when this was all happening. And I was like gonna graduate. I like turned 20 and like 2 days later I graduated to college, and I was like, I'm definitely gonna move to Korea now. But even before I graduated, when I was talking with my parents, I already had the idea in my head. I was like, I'm gonna move to Korea, but I need to make sure I graduate before I say anything to my parents. Because if I don't pass this stupid math class, I'm not gonna graduate, and then my parents are gonna be like,
oh, I thought you were moving to Korea.
And I'll be like,
shut up, I have to take math class over the summer.
So I was just like hinting though. I was hinting to the idea that I could possibly enjoy moving to Korea. Because I was like, oh, there's a new Korean restaurant that opened. I was gonna go try it. Oh, yeah, I love Korean food. I would love to visit one day. It just seems like the food is amazing. Oh yes, Korean skincare is amazing. I would love to experience that firsthand. Oh, I bought a new neck pillow for the airplane. Not that I have anything planned, just saying I think it might be convenient to have on hand. I also bought new suitcases big enough to fit my entire life, just in case, you know. I was like, I didn't flat out say like, hey fam, I'm moving to Korea, bye. I was like, little things here and there, like, oh, look at my new suitcase that I bought. It's very nice, isn't it? And also like, oh yeah, Korean food is delicious. I would love to like go to Korea one day and eat it. That would be like a dream come true. I was hinting at the idea that, hey mom, hey dad, probably going to move to Korea. I just need to make sure my life is a little bit more in order before that happens. So I wasn't announcing it. I was just like considering it and hinting around, and that happened. And then finally I was like, I can't keep it in, I need to tell somebody. So I told my mom, I was like, hey mom, I'm thinking about moving to Korea. I just realized I was speaking really fast, sorry. When I talk about Korea, I get really excited because I just love it so much. But I told my mom, I was like, hey, maybe I might possibly move to Korea. Actually, no, it's probably gonna happen. I'm just letting you know. Don't know when, don't know where, don't know how. Just letting you know, probably gonna go there in the foreseeable future. So the example sentence for this expression is, so my son has been hinting to me about the gift that he wants for Christmas. My son has been hinting to me about the gift that he wants for Christmas. Hinting, meaning not telling you fully, but like hints. And my son does this by sending me links. My son has a phone and I'll get a random link. And he was like, wow, this is really cool, right? And I'm like, that's really cool. And he was like, it would look really cool, really good with my other things as well, like on my desk or like my other plushies, or it would look really cool in my room. And I'm like, And he's like, yeah, my friend has one too, and I just think it's really cool. And I'm kind of, you know, I kind of would want one, but like, you know, it's just really cool. And I'm like, just tell me. You don't have to hint. Just, do you want this for Christmas? Yes or no? And he's like, but I mean, you know, maybe like Santa Claus can bring it. And I'm like, okay, thank you for letting me know. But he's like, hints. He hints at it, all right? So I hope you guys have a better understanding of the 3 expressions we went over today, which was to talk trash about somebody, concrete details, and to hint at something. So if you do have a better understanding of those expressions, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you all in the next video.